Look, I think you've hit the nail on the head, James. I've got teams in India. I've got teams in service centres. I've got product specialists. So I've got different, personas, if you like, of teams that have very different challenges day to day from working from home versus working in the office. I think that, but if you take a step back and have a balcony view of this, again, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for us to change. And I think the going position would be to try and be as flexible as we possibly can for colleagues to find the right environment for them to operate. And it's really what you do in the office rather than just return to the office. Candidly, I don't think we'll come back and just have banks of desks and screens. That may not be the case for some of our operation centres, because there are different challenges in that space. But broadly, I think we want to do different things in the office. It's about collaboration. It's about learning. It's about spending time with colleagues. You know, the coffee or the water cooler, which has been the biggest challenge, I think. There's also the risk aspect to it as well. You know, working from home adds additional risks, both in terms of well-being, but also just from a business perspective. So I think our approach will be definitely not to come back as we were before, but find the right balance for the different kinds of activities that we need to do within the different teams. And as you probably sense, I'm desperate to get into the office.
I suspect Andrew will share the same sentiments. I know very, very keen to get back in. And I think, particularly Andrew, running what we class, of course, is very much a frontline business, that ability to collaborate right through from transaction services through to the heritage structured finance businesses to the capital markets business that obviously we work very closely with. Being in the office to collaborate is really, really key. But let me not steal your thunder there. Great to hear your perspective as well.
No, James, I think Matt put it very well. Probably like everyone over the last year, I've had some days where I finished the day and I thought, well, if I'd been in the office today, I'd have frankly wasted a couple of hours commuting, because it's just sort of been one of those days. And there's been other days where I thought, well, actually, I think we'd have had a richer experience and delivered things better if we'd been able to do it in person. I guess the other bit, and clearly it's not just about being in the office. I think, to hark back to the early questions, it's about being proximate to our clients as well as just to our colleagues as well. But, if I think about, to Matt's point, the things that, how we drive culture, how we drive collaboration, innovation, how we train people, how we brainstorm, those are all things that I think we've all tried lots of different ways to do remotely, and remotely absolutely has a part in it. But there is clearly a richness and an opportunity that comes from being in person with people that will allow us to be better or more rounded and more versatile in how we deliver that. As I say, that there are also a number of things or tasks I think that we previously sat in the office where ultimately, when you look at it now, all we were really doing was putting a different set of clothes on, travelling however long it took to get into the office, getting in the office, sitting down and doing it, and then doing that journey back in reverse. So I think it's about being smart with what our time in office is for, making sure we really make the most of it, and allow our staff to have as a more flexible experience, as I think is clearly one of the mega trends we see across society at the moment. It's around an ability to choose to be more mobile, to be more agile. I think, as Matt said, it's a really a once in a generation opportunity to really respond to that and set the dial in a place that means we end up with the best of both worlds. As I say, I think if we're sitting in a year's time, if either we're working the same way we were a year and a bit ago, or we're working the same way we did today, then we'll have missed that opportunity.